Bhutan, the land of happiness. Although not economically rich, it is a country with a high level of happiness among its people. Such an impression may come to your mind about Bhutan. However, in recent years, Bhutan's declining level of happiness among its people and rising crime rate have been pointed out, and the reasons behind this have been attracting attention. Why is Bhutan falling into an unhappy country? What is needed for us to live happily? Let us think about happiness, the ultimate question we, human beings, keep posing in living our lives. Hello everyone, I'm Kanta. For many of you, the name Bhutan may be associated with the impression that it is a country of happiness. How can other countries follow Bhutan as a model and improve the level of happiness of the people in their respective countries? There have been such discussions in the past. However, as mentioned earlier, Bhutan has seen a decline in the level of happiness of its people and a rise in the crime rate in recent years, and the reasons for this are attracting attention. The Kingdom of Bhutan is a landlocked country located in the Himalayas, known for its unique culture, traditions, and rich natural environment. Bhutan has attracted worldwide attention as a country that places happiness at the core of its policies. Bhutan has often been featured in the media with such catchphrases as 97% of the people say they live happily, and is seen by many foreigners as a kind of utopia. A national policy that has been promoted by Bhutan is to maximize the sum of people's happiness. In English, it is called Gross National Happiness, GNH. From this point onward, it is referred to as GNH. GNH was created in 1972 by King Jigme Singye Wangchuck of the Kingdom of Bhutan and has been used in national policy ever since. In the year of 1972, the global economy was growing rapidly, and at that time, attention was focused exclusively on GDP, or Gross Domestic Product, which measures the economic scale of a country. The GNH scale was born in Bhutan during such a time, and the idea became widespread that the country should aim at maximizing the happiness of society as a whole by maximizing happiness per capita. GNH is considered the basis for Bhutan's national development and is an index that attempts to measure the amount of happiness of the people based on 9 components, including, for example, the psychological well-being of the people, their health, education, and use of time. In order to quantify GNH, people of Bhutan are interviewed and data is collected. In 2005, the first census was conducted in Bhutan, and the following questions, for example, were asked. Do you consider yourself happy, and what does it take to be happy? Have you ever considered committing suicide? Have you ever tried to carry it out? How much do you trust Bhutanese people, neighbors? In this way, Bhutan has emphasized the importance of measuring the happiness of its people through census and other means, but at the same time, various criticisms have been leveled at GNH. For example, GNH has been criticized for its vague evaluation criteria and lack of statistical reliability. In a 2005 survey, 97% of respondents answered happy to the question, "Are you happy now?" This was often introduced in the media, but the survey was based only on 3 choices, that is, very happy, happy, and not very happy, and has been criticized as being biased since respondents would most likely choose the middle option. Based on such criticisms, the survey was improved to an 11-point scale evaluation from 0 to 10 in 2010. As you can see, GNH itself has been criticized in various ways, but the point is that Bhutan has always emphasized the level of happiness of its people as a matter of national policy. However, it has been pointed out that the level of happiness of the people in Bhutan has been declining in recent years. Bhutan conducts GNH surveys regularly, and the 2015 GNH report showed that the number of people reporting negative emotions such as anger, fear, and selfishness had increased over previous surveys, while the number of people reporting positive emotions such as compassion and forgiveness decreased. In recent years, Bhutan has also reported an increase in crime rates, as well as the phenomenon of rural residents migrating to urban areas in search of work, leading to a decline in life satisfaction and mental well-being. So why has happiness declined in Bhutan in recent years? Television has been pointed out as a major factor. Television has been cited as one factor in the decline in happiness. Business Insider, a New York-based economic media outlet, reported about the decline in Bhutan's level of happiness as follows. In recent years, TV has been blamed for everything from Bhutan's rising crime rate to its shifting demographics as rural residents head for bigger towns in search of work. In other words, the widespread use of television in Bhutan is believed to have been accompanied by a rise in crime rates and population shifts from rural to urban areas. In addition, the recent proliferation of smartphones and other information devices is thought to have contributed to the decline in the level of happiness. Why are TVs and smartphones contributing to the decline in happiness? There underlies the existence of advertisements that stimulate people's desires. Phuncho Raptan of the Center for Bhutan Studies puts it this way. Advertisements create desires which cannot be satisfied by people's current economic position. crimes and corruption are often born out of economic desires. In addition to advertisements, the unstoppable influx of information through the internet is said to be contributing to declining happiness. For example, people's happiness is thought to be reduced when they learn about the lives of people living in other countries through social media, or when people in rural areas learn about life in urban areas, which means that exposure to new information is lowering human happiness. Although not in Bhutan, there are many other studies that have shown that social media lowers people's happiness. For example, some studies show that adolescents who use Instagram more frequently tend to experience negative effects, such as anxiety, loneliness, and feelings of inferiority about their appearance. Adolescent women, in particular, are said to experience a decrease in self-esteem when they see other beautiful women and glamorous lives through Instagram. A Harvard study reported that, especially for adolescent girls, frequent exposure to Instagram and other social media can deepen dissatisfaction with their own bodies and increase the risk of eating disorders, and can lead to serious mental health problems, such as depression and suicidal behavior. In Bhutan, it has been pointed out that the spread of television and smartphones and exposure to advertisements and information has caused a decline in happiness, and the same is true of another happiest country in the world. That happiest country in the world is the Republic of Fiji, an island nation in the Pacific Ocean. I visited there earlier this year to gather information. In addition to its rich natural environment, Fiji is known as the happiest country in the world. The reason for this is that Fiji has been ranked number 1 year after year in the World Happiness Rankings, which are based on people's subjective opinions. Fiji has the highest percentage of people who answer, "I am blissfully happy," when asked the question, "Are you happy?" In fact, when I asked the same question to the local people in Fiji, most of them replied, "I am happy." However, according to my interviews in Fiji, as many as 300 Fijian people migrate to other countries every day in recent years. This means that 100,000 people are leaving Fiji per year, a staggering number considering that Fiji is a small country with a total population of 900,000. Why do so many Fijians leave the happiest country in the world? I asked Hiroshi Taniguchi, a Japanese who lives in Fiji for 20 years, and he told us that one factor that influenced the recent rush of emigration was the corona pandemic. During the pandemic, people were restricted from leaving their homes, and their ties to the local community became tenuous. Instead, Fijians became connected to the world through social media. The corona disaster also significantly lowered the cost of internet usage, which spurred an increase in internet use. As a result, Fijians began to compare life in their own country with life in other countries. Moreover, since the official language in Fiji is English, Fijian people speak English fluently and could easily access information from developed countries. For example, while surfing the internet, they had more opportunities to see job opportunities and living conditions in neighboring developed countries, such as Australia and New Zealand. Compared to employment conditions in Fiji, jobs in these countries offer much better conditions. Working in such countries might make their lives better. Through social media, Fijians were exposed to such inspiration. It is considered likely that Fijians who were exposed to information about other countries and felt that they might not be as fortunate as they think they were, that there might be a better life out there, may have been migrating to other countries. Besides this, there are several other reasons why Fijians are leaving their home country, such as the unique Fijian nepotism and political problems that prevent young people from playing an active role in their country. I plan to explain them in detail in another video, so please subscribe to my channel and wait for it. I have talked about how the level of human happiness is lowered in an extreme information society based on the cases of Bhutan and Fiji, but there is one last question I would like to discuss with you. What do you think is important to live happily? Having said that, this question is very grandiose and not easy to answer. However, there is no doubt that it is also the ultimate question we, human beings, keep posing in living our lives. As someone who has covered poverty and conflict zones, I would like to share my view of happiness. What is important for human beings to live happily? After visiting various places, I think it is to realize what is given to you, or in other words, to know enough. In September 2023, I visited a village in the eastern part of the Democratic Republic of Congo, a conflict zone. There was no electricity, running water, or gas. When making instant ramen for dinner at night, we used charcoal to boil water. However, it was very difficult to boil water over a charcoal fire, and it took more than 30 minutes for the water to boil. I remember the most delicious instant ramen I ever had when I managed to boil water to make and eat it. On the other hand, in Japan, where I live, I can boil water in only 30 seconds using an electric kettle. When I went to a village in Congo and boiled water over a charcoal fire, I realized how convenient my life in Japan really was. I realized how happy I was. More specifically, in Japan, water, gas, and electricity are available as a matter of course. Visiting the Eastern Congo, the poorest region in the world, made me realize how blessed I was to live the way I did when I was in Japan. However, once I returned to Japan and began to adapt to life in Japan, I forgot that. I am not such a strong person myself. When I'm exposed to advertisements and information that comes through TV, smartphones, etc., I almost think, I want this, I want that. Maybe there is a better life out there. It is only when you lose it that you realize that you are blessed enough. For example, a person who has lost a family member in a car accident may say, I just want that ordinary life back, where I ate dinner at the same table with my family. But we take the routine of eating dinner with our families for granted, and we rarely appreciate it on a daily basis. We are supposedly blessed enough to have a good life, but we are usually unaware of it. We often don't realize it until we lose it. There may be a more blessed life or a happier life. When we are exposed to advertisements and information, we may think that way. But I think it is important for human beings to first look at what is given to them and realize that they are blessed enough to live a happy life. I felt this way because I am a person who has covered the harsh regions of Africa. It is also true that it is very difficult for individuals to practice knowing enough in this world dominated by capitalism, which seeks more in order to grow. I have spoken in a great way, but I myself am still a very inexperienced person. And to be honest, I don't think I am putting it into practice. I would like to continue thinking about the view of happiness with you all. Please let me know what you think of this video in the comments section. On Kanta's YouTube channel, I try to discuss various issues in the world, while also thinking about how we should live our lives. This channel tries to provide you with opportunities for thinking about your own way of living. If you have not yet subscribed to this channel, please do so now. If you found this video informative in any way, I would appreciate it if you would click the high rating button as well at the end. Thank you again for watching to the end. See you again in the next video.